One of my favorite parts of the job is reviewing the unbelievable text messages that people send each other at work. For some reason, people are willing to say things via text or instant message that they would never dream of saying in person or even via email. This video is about when employees like you should save those text messages from your boss or your coworker. I will explain why saving them could mean the difference between losing your case and winning millions in an employment lawsuit. My name is Branigan Robertson, and I'm an employment lawyer. This video is the final video in a 4-part series called How to Document Bad Behavior at Work. In the first video, I explained how to properly take notes when bad things are happening on the job. The second video was about how to save critical emails. The third video was all about saving important company documents. And this last video is all about saving text and instant type messages. Now, I obviously strongly recommend that you watch all 4 of these videos because every single case I handle involves all 4 of these types of evidence. And it's really sad when we are unable to get a key text message in discovery that our client could have saved easily while they were still employed. But before we get to text message nirvana on the whiteboard, I need to say 3 quick things. Number 1, if you've ever been sent a text message at work and it made your jaw drop, please put it in the comment section down below. I love reading about the idiotic things that people say to each other on the job. Number 2, I have a license to practice law in California, but I'm making this video for employees all across America. While this video covers some basic legal stuff, you should not take this video as legal advice for your situation. The rules of evidence are different from state to state, and more importantly, I don't know you or anything about your situation. If you need legal advice, you need to pick up the phone and call a lawyer in your state. Number 3, if you're in California, please don't call me looking for answers to basic legal questions. The free consultation process at my office is not for giving out free legal advice to anybody who calls. It's primarily for Californians who got fired and they believe they have a case for wrongful termination, discrimination, retaliation, or something serious like that. All right, with all the boring stuff out of the way, let's get back to the whiteboard and get into it. I guess I should probably define what I mean by text message here, right? Obviously, I'm referring to text messages sent via SMS or via the internet between 2 people on a phone. But I'm also referring to instant messages on things like Slack, Facebook, Skype, Messenger, WhatsApp, WeChat, Microsoft Teams, Google, and whatever else people are using to send instant messages right now, and whatever else they're going to be using it to send messages in the future. But before we get into all the nitty-gritty, we should also talk about the big picture here. Why should employees save text messages at all? While it might seem obvious to some, most people don't understand how our legal system works. First, if you are forced to file an employment lawsuit down the road, say for wrongful termination, retaliation, harassment, or something like that, saving the key text messages now will be very helpful in proving your case later. But let me make it even easier than that. If you can show, and not just allege, if you can actually show that something unlawful has happened to you, the value of your case goes up dramatically. The bad guys will come to the bargaining table a lot earlier with real money if you've got great evidence at the start of your case. Moreover, since most cases settle, right? Most cases settle long before trial. The main benefit of having written evidence is that your lawyer can take those text messages, they can show them to the defense lawyers and educate them on how they are going to lose and how their client is going to pay you a bunch of money when they lose. And in turn, those lawyers will go back to their client and say, hey, we got some serious risk here. I think we should settle this case. So to be clear, if you have a case, the only way your lawyer is going to get you a fair settlement early is by exerting significant legal leverage against your former employer. And allegations don't do that. Proof does. And text messages can be great proof in employment law cases. Before we talk about what text messages you should be saving, we should first talk about when you should consider saving text messages in the first place. Now, if you've watched the first 3 videos in this series, you already know that my general recommendation is that people should start saving records when the following 3 conditions have been met. Number 1, you are experiencing a significant issue at work. Number 2, whatever is happening to you is seriously impacting your ability to do your job. And number 3, most importantly, you suspect that the conduct at issue is unlawful, or it stems from an unlawful act, or it is part of a pattern of unlawful behavior. Now, I've made videos on just about every major area of employment law. So if you think something bad is happening to you at work, chances are that I've made a video about it, and you can quickly get up to speed on the legal basics. I'll put some links in the description below to videos on the major areas of employment law. Now listen carefully to this next part. Before I tell you what messages you should save, I need to first mention something that is absolutely mandatory, so please listen. Never delete or hide bad text messages that you think hurt your case. I am truly shocked at how many call my office, tell me a sob story, but when I ask for the text messages, they say that they deleted them. Don't do that. Don't delete messages. Why would you do that? Look, it's very important that you are honest with your attorney and that you're honest before the court. If you truly have a case, you want to tell your lawyer all the good facts and the bad facts right up front. That way your lawyer can prepare defenses ahead of time instead of being surprised and unprepared. Every case has bad facts. Good lawyers can deal with bad facts, but when people hide or delete documents or text messages, it looks like that they're trying to trick the justice system. And if a jury thinks this about you, you will lose your case every single time. So don't delete any text messages. All right, with my rant out of the way, what text messages should you be saving? Which ones are important? Obviously, you don't want to save every single message from work, right? That's a waste of time and energy. You only want to save the messages that are important to your case. So what messages are important to your case or in most employment cases? All right, well, let's look. Number 1, texts from other employees or coworkers that support your claim. Most messages that people bring me are texts from other employees within the company that support their underlying claim of discrimination, retaliation, unlawful harassment, or something like that, right? Obviously, in a harassment case, you should save all the text messages from the harasser. That's really obvious. If your boss is retaliating against you by sending you ridiculous work requests, you should keep those messages. If you have a friend who also works there, and when you guys go out to lunch, he or she shows you some text messages that support your claim for whatever your issue is, ask them to take screenshots and send you those text messages. But it goes way beyond that. I see a lot of messages from coworkers or supervisors after my client gets fired that say something to the effect of, "Oh, I can't believe how they treated you," or "You were the best product safety manager. They definitely broke the law. They shouldn't have fired you." So save those. Number 2, you should obviously keep complaint texts. What do I mean by this? If you complained about unlawful behavior or something and you sent it to your manager, you should save that text message. A lot of people send legally protected complaints to their manager via text message without even knowing it. But you shouldn't stop there. If they respond to your complaint, you should save any response messages. Along with that, you should save any messages that demonstrate they are retaliating against you because of your complaint. Okay? Number 3. Text messages that indicate your job performance. You should keep any positive or negative messages regarding your performance from your boss, HR, coworkers, customers, or clients. For example, if you receive a text message from a client saying that you are the best person to work with, you should save that text message because inevitably they're going to say that you're a bad worker and you want to be able to show otherwise. It's also important to remember that these employment cases usually incubate over many months, sometimes years. So you might be dealing with a situation for a long period of time before you get fired. I'm telling you this because if you're in the middle of something right now and you're just realizing that you should be saving text messages, it's important that you go back in time, look through your phone, and save the important messages that I just mentioned. Hey, quick interruption. If you think employers should stop retaliating against employees, go ahead and hit the like button down below. If you have a friend who should watch this video, hit the share button and send this video to them. It will help the channel and it will help your friend. And it's good to be a helper, right? All right, let's get back to it. Okay, now that we know what messages we need to save, let's talk about how to save those messages. Because the method is just as important as the message itself. But before we talk about anything specific or any specific strategies, I need to first say that your goal with any of these strategies is to do 4 things correctly. Number 1, you need to save the entire message. Don't leave anything out. This includes the date and timestamps, which are absolutely key. Number 2, you need to save the context behind the message. This might mean saving all the messages that came in earlier that day, or it might mean saving hundreds of messages sent over many months. It all depends. Number 3, you need to save proof of who the sender is. A lot of people have nicknames, aliases, or use weird usernames in text messaging and instant messaging. So it's very helpful that you take a screenshot of their contact information. That way you can show that the weird username in the text message chain is the pen name or the pseudonym of the person you are claiming it is. Okay? Number 4, save the sequence of messages in order so that when it is read on paper in front of a jury, they will understand exactly who was saying what and when they were saying it. It needs to be easy to follow the conversation. Okay? Let's get to the meat and potatoes. With all that other stuff out of the way, let's talk about messages that are on your personal phone or your personal devices, and then we'll talk about messages that live on company-controlled phones, computers, or devices. All right, personal phones. If the text messages from your job live on your personal phone, my recommendation would be to do the following thing. Number 1, obviously, don't delete any messages. We already talked about that. Number 2, I would back up the most important messages by either using software to save the entire message chain or by at least taking quality screenshots of the most important messages. Both of which I'll discuss, both methods I'll discuss in detail here in a second. The goal of backing up these messages, even though they live on your personal device, backing them up to an external hard drive or to a laptop, is that if you accidentally drop your phone in the bathtub, you won't lose these messages. You don't want to lose a multi-million-dollar lawsuit because you accidentally dropped your phone in the toilet, right? And if you do have a case down the road, you can bring the phone to your lawyer's office and they will work with you to extract those key text messages and identifying information using methods that are even better for discovery and presentation at trial. All right, so now let's talk about company-controlled devices. If the important text messages at issue here are on a work-related device, you must be more proactive and thoughtful about saving these messages. The first thing that I want to say about this is that text messages on a work phone may be considered confidential information and subject to certain restrictions on what you can and cannot save. Now, I'm not going to cover that topic here as I extensively covered it in my last 2 videos in this series. So I recommend that you watch those last 2 videos or pick up the phone and call a lawyer in your state to learn a little bit more about what you can and cannot save. The other thing that I want to say is that whatever method you choose here, your goal is to save the messages without leaving a digital trace that you were doing it or alerting the company that you are saving messages. If you want to know why being stealthy when you're saving text messages is important, go watch my last 2 videos. That will lay the context that's so important. All right, with that all out of the way, let's talk about my favorite strategies for saving text messages that live on a company-controlled phone or device. Strategy number 1, software backup. This is my favorite strategy by far, a software backup of the entire text message chain. How it works is you plug your phone into your computer. The software, which I'll give you the names for here in a minute, backs up the phone, and then you can print or PDF the entire text message chain. The document that is printed looks almost exactly like the text messages appear on your phone. And it includes the date and timestamp, right? Good software will even capture the photographs or memes that are sent in the text messages. However, videos that are sent will have to be saved separately, but the printout or PDF should show the file and the file name so that your lawyer can point to exactly when a video was sent in the conversation. The reason why software is my favorite strategy is that the sequence of the text messages is uninterrupted. It's very clean and easy to read. Your lawyer can easily print it out, put bait stamps on it, and use it in discovery in your lawsuit. Moreover, this typically doesn't leave a digital footprint on the company computer, so the company is highly unlikely to know that you've saved these messages. Here are some software recommendations for Apple and Android. Some are paid, some are not. But for iPhone, I recommend a software called iMazing, like little I, then Mazing without the A. I think it costs $35. There's another one for Apple products called Decipher Text Message, and I'm sure there are others. For Android, there are 3 options. There's SMS Backup and Restore, there's Legal Text Collector, and then there's Mighty Text. Now, technology changes way faster than the law, so I expect some of these software that I just recommended will quickly become outdated and disappear. Don't worry about that. Just hop on Google and find some replacement software for your specific phone platform. And if you can't find any, well, think about using some of these other strategies that I'm about to talk about. All right, strategy number 2. It's called screenshot and save. This strategy consists of you taking screenshots with the phone of the messages and then sending them to yourself for safekeeping. Now, most people know how to take a screenshot with their phone. If you don't, you can quickly figure this out with a simple Google search. On my phone, I just hit one button up here and another button over here at the same time, and then boom, I've saved that screenshot to my photo library. While this strategy is simple, it has a number of drawbacks, especially on company-controlled phones. Number 1, once you take the screenshot, you need to transfer that image to a device that the company does not control in order to save it. This transfer process might leave a digital trace, which is not ideal. If you watch the first 3 videos in this series, you know that I do not recommend using your work email account to forward stuff to your personal email account. Again, if you haven't seen the first 3 videos in the series, I strongly recommend that you watch them. Number 2, once you take the screenshot, it saves an image on that device. That will be fairly easy for the defense lawyers to find down the road after they fire you. That is not ideal either. Number 3, it's really hard to save a bunch of screenshots like this in a way that doesn't become a jigsaw puzzle for the attorneys and the judge to figure out down the road. Remember, there might be a significant time delay between when you save the messages and when your lawyer will ultimately look at them. Recreating the conversation sequence in order is really difficult with screenshots and may result in lost evidence. So it's not my favorite strategy, but this is definitely better than nothing. Strategy number 3, printing. I wish it was that easy, but simply printing the messages might be a good option if we're talking more about instant messages on a computer rather than text messages on a phone, right? If you can just print out the entire conversation and take that printout home, that is a great option that is unlikely to leave a digital footprint. Now, when printing messages, especially in these text messages format, the formatting of the messages is really important. Depending on your setup, when you print out an instant message conversation chain, the formatting might come out all wonky and make it kind of hard to decipher who is saying what or when it was said in the sequence. But this is still better than nothing, but it's not ideal. So if you use this strategy, make sure you review the printout. If the formatting comes out all screwy, then consider using a secondary strategy here, okay? Strategy number 4, right? Strategy number 4. Take pictures. It's really basic, right? Get out your personal phone and literally take a picture of the important messages that exist on your work phone. And if the first three strategies are not good for you, strategy number 4 might be the ticket, because it's really basic and it's super easy. You're just taking pictures. While it is safer than the first 3 strategies, as there's no digital trace on any company-controlled device, it does come with a couple significant drawbacks, as should be obvious by now. First of all, pictures of a phone or computer screen with your personal phone end up being really annoying to read because the picture's all pixelated. While this will frustrate your lawyer when it comes time to produce these text messages in discovery, it also frustrates the jury. Secondly, this has the same problem that we talked about earlier when talking about screenshots, and that becomes a jigsaw puzzle for the lawyers to recreate. On top of that, you might end up saving dozens or hundreds of messages depending on how complicated your case becomes. This gets really tedious and annoying after a while. Finally, it is inevitable that your photo of a message on another phone will not capture every important element. I can't tell you how many times people have sent me emails or text messages like this when they took a picture with the date stamp cut off, the sender cut off, or something else or important cut off. That missing context might really hurt your case down the road. Okay, last one, strategy number 5, message log. This strategy is my least preferred, as you're not actually saving the text or instant messages at all, but it might be preferable for you if you can't safely do any of the first 4 strategies. In this strategy, you either handwrite or keep a digital journal on your phone or home computer where you keep a descriptive log of all the important text messages. What exactly do you write down? Let me give you an example. Quote, on March 23rd, 2022, my boss, Jane Smith, sent me a text message at 1:30 p.m. saying that I was a rat and snitches get stitches. This was only 2 hours after I submitted a complaint to HR about how my boss treats the Asian employees in her office. End quote. Right? If you give a descriptive log of entries like this to your lawyer will know exactly what to ask for in discovery. He or she will probably be able to overcome any objections that the defense lawyers throw at them and justify in detail why the text messages are important, so the judge can force the company to give you the actual messages. Now, this strategy won't preserve the text message or even protect it from being destroyed, but it will be wonderful to have a log like this if the company in fact does delete or destroy those text messages. Because again, juries hate it when a party deletes incriminating evidence. And if you can convince the jury that the defendants did destroy text messages because you have this log, it will definitely help your case in trial. Okay, sorry for another long video, but text messages are so important in employment law, I didn't want to cut this subject short. So obviously it takes me a lot of time and energy to put these videos together. So if you got something valuable out of it, let me know by hitting the subscribe button. And that'll let me know that you want me to make more videos that are useful like this. And this concludes our 4-part series on how to document bad behavior at work. If you have any questions about the series, or if you have any ideas for other employment law related videos, let me know via a comment down below. Finally, if you are in California and you believe that you were wrongfully terminated, harassed, retaliated against, or discriminated, feel free to call my office for a free consultation. If you're outside of California, pick up the phone and call a lawyer in your state. That is all I have for you. I hope you have a fantastic day.